Restaurant hired fake priests to get sin confession from workers. You can't make this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Quality Life here on YouTube, wherever you might be listening to this. The question is, does Christian wickedness make all Christians look bad? Does it make us look bad? Check this article out. Here we go. Restaurant hired fake priest to get sin confession from workers. All right. It was unholy behavior. Hilarious. The owner of a California taqueria chain, I'm not sure if I said that right, but taqueria chain have been ordered to pay $70,000 in damages to employees who met with a person identified as a priest to confess sins in a workplace. What? That's crazy. 35 employees at Taqueria
Garibaldi,
owned by Garibaldi, who
got
operates locations in Sacramento and Roseville. Wow,
Have you seen it? Because you were in Sacramento.
No, but I'm going to Sacramento again in about a month, so
yeah, you're gonna look out for it.
I'm gonna be looking out for this place. Be like, hey, I know about you. We're awarded the amount following an investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor. Ooh. You know, when the government gets involved, that's never a good sign. An employee told the court the priest urged workers to get the sins out and asked them if they had stolen from the employer, been late for work, had done anything to harm their employer, or if they had bad intentions towards their employer.
You know,
that's crazy. It's nothing to do with their lifestyle. It's only to do with their life pertaining to their employer.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, why would you play with their emotions like that? That's just messed up.
But the other side of this is too, why would you go to a priest that your employer brought in?
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
maybe if you had like a really good relationship outside of work with your employer or your boss, but other than that, I mean, it seems kind of weird that you would go to an employer. I mean, that's just from that perspective. Now, that doesn't justify anything that the employer did, bringing in a fake priest so that they can, dig dirt on, who was abusing, workplace privileges. But still, like, something should have went off in people's heads, like, hey, like, something's not right here. Now, to their point, I think some of these people are probably just people who just got over here and are happy to have a job, maybe not documented, and they're just, working, trying to make a way for themselves, not get caught as well, and they're just kind of oblivious to, that way. So, I mean, there's two sides of that coin.
I wonder how it was set up. Like, was it like, hey guys, I brought this priest in. Do you guys, if you guys need to talk to him, he's over here for you? Or, I'm just curious how it was brought in like that.
But it seems very sneaky indeed. An employee told the court the priest urged workers to get the sin out and asked them if they had, I just read that. They added that the intimidating stunt was among the most shameless they had ever seen. The identity of the so-called priest hasn't been disclosed. Okay, let's go down a little bit. As soon as the confession started, I found the conversation to be strange and unlike normal confessions, where I would tell a priest about the sins I wanted to confess, Para told a federal court in a sworn declaration.
Sorry, I have a comment. So the way that she was able to like compare and contrast, like, this is what a real confession was like versus this confession's a little off. I think we should have that same discernment when it comes to our teachers and even like content that we come across or videos and what we read too. Should have that same comparing and contrasting.
No, I like that for sure. And also with this, it shows that these people, obviously they're of the Catholic tradition, and so they were probably thinking, this is cool. They are, appealing to my beliefs and my traditions, and maybe I don't get to go to confession because I'm working so much.
Oh,
And so
that's good.
now you're kind of weaponizing, or you're saying that you're adding, value into people's lives, but you're actually weaponizing their tradition and what they believe in and their faith. And that's where it gets tricky. And so that's why we go back to, does Christian wickedness make Christians, like all of Christians, look bad? I mean, and Catholics are, they have different beliefs than a lot of different sectors of Christianity, but they are still under the umbrella of Christianity, when you're talking about just Christianity at large. So let's continue to read this because it gets very, very interesting down here. So the Department of Labor, like we said, got involved. So the Department of Labor only uncovered the spiritual scam after an investigation into unpaid wages. They subsequently discovered that the owner denied employees overtime pay for hours over 40 in a work week, a violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. Man, that is
Wow.
tough. Because I remember I worked a job where basically you worked over 40 hours every week. And if I got cut off at 40, or if basically a normal work week for us was 49. And if I went over 49, they tried not to have anybody go over 49, but sometimes it just happens. Somebody gets sick, or, we're just busy, or, just different circumstances come up. But they would often get, upset, but they would obviously pay you, but they were upset because they had to pay you. And for them to not pay workers for, working overtime and contributing to the success of the company,
Yeah.
for them not to, get something back in return is just criminal.
Yeah. It's amazing how paranoid he is or was about his employees, but he's over here not being a great employer as well.
Right, exactly. He's like, yeah, I want to dig up the dirt on you guys.
Yeah.
While
But I'm
subsequently
good.
doing dirt myself.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hypocritical.
take the plank out of your own eye before you, judge other people. So, in addition, they subsequently discovered that the owner denied employees. Okay. In addition to the $70,000 in damages, Tachiera Garibaldi is now also required to pay $70,000 in back pay to employees. Ouch, that hurts. The owner will additionally have to fork out $5,000 in civil money penalties to the Department of Labor due to willfully. Wow, I don't know what just happened there.
Escape. Click escape.
Okay, there we go. Due to willfully, due to the willful nature of their violations. And so it's good that the employees are going to get some back pay. Hopefully it covers, what they were owed plus more, which $70,000 is a lot. So depending on how long this was, hopefully they're compensated above what they were actually owed, because just for having to go through that. Additionally, the Department of Labor says the owner threatened employees with retaliation and adverse immigration consequences for cooperating with the department, and fired one worker who they believed had complained to the department. The Post had contacted one of the listed owners of Tachiera Garibaldi for comment. This employer's despicable attempt to retaliate against employees were intended to silence workers, obstruct an investigation, and prevent the recovery of unpaid wages. The department's solicitors said in a statement. So basically, this guy was digging up dirt on his employees, trying to prevent them from ratting them, or for ratting him, the employee or employer, out to the feds in a sense for all the unpaid wages.
Corrupt.
And as a result, some poetic justice. See, that's how God actually works. It's like you tried to use him for your benefit, and some people, get away with some heinous stuff in the name of, being a Christian or in the name of Christ, and that's bad. But we also have to understand that all things are working together for our good for those who are called according to his purpose, which is Romans 8:28, which is what we went over in Bible study just a minute ago. And so we're going to present this question that's up there. We want to know your thoughts. Does Christian wickedness make all Christians look bad? We're about to give you our thoughts right now. So this is Kenya's point first.
I say yes. I say yes because especially from like the outside looking in. Of course, inside you can kind of like tell and you're like, that's a little off. Okay. But on the outside looking in, for someone who's not a Christian, it's a little off putting. So I would say it's important for Christians to represent Christ well, and we can do this through a repentant heart and practicing what we read and practicing what we are taught. So that's my point.
Okay. Amen. Amen. So here is my point. My point is true believers must always seek Jesus faithfully and disassociate with those who show partiality in his name. We must also own up to our shortcomings and move into the future towards a more Christ-like version of ourselves. And so we need to separate ourselves from people who are doing wickedness, especially in the name of Christ. But then also when we fall short of the glory of God, like we will inevitably do, we need to make sure that we are repentant, like you said, and move forward into the future, becoming more Christ-like. We turn away from whatever that shortcoming was so that we, don't stumble into that we can be people of integrity. And so that we aren't partial to the law, like it says in James, but that we, do our best to fulfill the law as Christ fulfilled. So Christ fulfilled the law, and as we become more like Christ, hopefully we can fulfill all of the law in the sense that we are walking in God's will and obeying it perfectly. So that's just what we think. We want to know what you think. Please leave your perspective down in the comments. Do you think what he did was foul? Amen. Do you think not? What did you think about what we had to say? Does Christian wickedness make all Christians look bad? We want to know. If you like this video, we know that you're going to want to check out this video next because YouTube recommends it personally for you. We'll see you over there. But until we do, don't be beta. Let's serve the alpha
and the omega.
Like for the algorithm.